All right, we should be live.
It's called a coquita ino.
We don't know what he's talking
back
about right
on the
now.
island, they used to draw.
Are you
that.
going to show the camera what we were talking about?
Sorry, what?
Because we are live.
We are live.
Welcome, everybody. Episode 3 of the quote-unquote name still in progress Bikes and Beers podcast. If you have a better name idea, drop it in the comments. Or, DM me on Instagram or, something. Because Bikes and Beers, it's cool, but anyway, cheers. Thank you all for being here, guys. You over there.
Hey.
And I have my handy-dandy assistant back. That's Eliza, if y'all don't know her. She's been on a few of the videos. All right, so today, so here's what happened. We went on a ride Saturday, and Tony over here, by the way, this is Tony. Y'all haven't met Tony yet. Don't look at the TV, look at the camera.
What's your name? What's your name? Tony.
Don't do it.
All right.
PG-13, please.
We got Juan.
You know that joke, right?
We got Juan as always.
We'll tell you later. Yes, sorry.
Really need to watch this. We got Juan, y'all know him. We got my boy Jeremy, first time on the podcast, even though there's only been 3. My boy James. I'm Joel, and this is my baby girl Eliza. All right. So anyway, let's back to the story. We were on a ride on Saturday, and Tony had these like rust spots on his on the forks of his bike. And Juan came out and gave him a little tip to use a very fine Brillo pad to get rid of them. And steel wool. How did that turn out?
Actually, I got it today and I tried it today. It's steel wool, super fine grade.
Like quadruple zero, right?
Quadruple zero, 0000. And sure enough, I watched some videos. You're supposed to rub it right on the chrome. When they dip things in chrome, it's a thick layer. It doesn't scratch the chrome. It took all the rust off. I rubbed it right on the chrome, dry. I was scared. I was a little scared because it's steel wool.
Yeah.
But it was so fine. It kind of, course, it fell apart, but it buffed it out. I mean, I didn't spend that much time just to see it, and it pretty much took almost all the rust off. And I had quite a bit. At least it looked ugly. All these rust spots.
Right.
That's Miami for you.
Yeah, Miami will do that with all this water, all this humidity and moisture in the air.
Incredible, man.
Anyway, so out of that conversation came the idea. We've all been riding for at least a couple of years now. At least I know that's how long I've been riding. That's why I say that. So I figured let's get on here and share some of the tips and tricks we've learned along the way for maybe some new riders who will watch this 5 months from now and pick up a thing or two. So let's go around. How long has everybody been riding?
Say about 2 years.
About 2 years.
And just like weeks shy from my 2 year anniversary.
Weeks shy of your 2 years?
Yeah, just about 2 years. 4 maybe.
4 years. So he's the longest because I've been 2 years. Actually, we all kind of have 2 years except this old guy. And Eliza does have a dirt bike.
I have only rode for 1 day.
She's only ridden it once.
It's a good start.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I got to start somewhere, right? Do you have any tips about motorcycle riding you've learned along the way?
Never ride with another adult.
Always ride with an adult.
It feels so
Always
like,
ride with an adult.
No.
Never ride with your
It
dad.
feels so
With a responsible
unsafe.
adult.
Like that to bend their knees because it's so tight.
Oh, on your bike, tiny dirt bike, yeah, of course. Okay. All right. So, anybody have any big things they've learned? It can be about maintenance. It can be about shopping for gear, shopping for a bike, riding, people you meet, anything. Somebody.
Okay, let me throw my 2 cents in there before I forget.
Okay.
Because this actually also happened on Saturday. I was talking to this guy in the group named Nate, I believe. He just got an Iron A83.
Okay.
Happy with it, of course. And as we know, that's a great beginner's bike, right? It's almost the beginner bike for the people that get into Harley Davidson.
Sure.
Myself included. And he mentioned, I'm actually, that's how people are. He hasn't had it for even half a year and he's already thinking of moving up. And he told me, you know what, I'm thinking of maybe upgrading to an Iron 1200. I'm like, no. If for any reason you feel like you're ready to move up, at least Softail, man.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like,
if you go from sporty to sporty,
yeah, when you start out, you're gonna have the instinct to go for a smaller bike. You might be a little bit hesitant, a little bit scared.
which is valid.
Which is perfectly valid. That's how I started. I think that's how a lot of us started. You're still on your little key.
I started on a sport bike. I just
These
went,
are- yeah.
I went with a 600.
Yeah, you're still on your kiddie bike.
I started with a 250.
Okay, so you
So
started
that's pretty
way
small.
yeah.
250, 500, and then 883.
Right. Okay. So, but the point being, 6 months to a year after that, it's gonna happen. You're gonna want to
And you feel
upgrade.
like you outgrow it.
You feel like you outgrow
You
a
want a
trigger,
little bit
get off
more-
that
a
wire.
little bit more power.
You're gonna want that more.
The 6th gear, man.
At that
Six to
point,
six
Oh,
gear,
yeah,
man.
that's
Six
what
gear.
That's what
I'm
I'm
always
thinking.
like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm 5th. I'm
but
5th.
correct me if I'm wrong. At that point, that's when you want to go. Maybe not to your dream bike, but to a bike that's at the level of your dream bike, so you can
Yes,
start
absolutely.
learning how to ride that type of bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
So-
get the feel for the power and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
So for me,
weight.
I went from my Shadow 750, and I knew I wanted a soft tail, so I went with. Well, I do have my dream bike, but I went to my dream bike. Don't do that necessarily if you don't feel ready for it. But yeah, I mean, now I feel like I can ride any soft tail. I feel like I can ride any touring bike. I feel like I can ride
Yeah, you
any.
get the feel for it, the weight.
What was your first bike? Sport bike? 600?
Yeah, Gixxer 600, intake exhaust power commander. You know, I got comfortable with. That's what I always wanted.
Okay.
That's what I was always like, sport bike. And then when I actually
Okay.
got it,
So this is interesting. Hey, so this is interesting. Let me throw this one at you. Not often do you hear about somebody that starts out as a sport biker going cruiser so
Mhm.
quickly. What made you make that transition?
for me, I enjoyed it. I had a great time. My girlfriend at the time, you know, she was hesitant about riding. She didn't want to get on. And after like 2 months of being like, hey, let's go, she finally got on. We went on to Key Largo. Not a long ride, 45 minutes.
Sure.
But when she got off, she said her back hurt, her butt hurt. She wasn't comfortable, you know. And after I went on a long ride, I wasn't comfortable.
Sure.
And my knees, my back, everything just was bothering me, and I wanted something more comfortable.
Sure. That's another tip. If you have any knee issues, back issues, and what you're looking for is longer rides, do not go with a sport bike.
You know, it's the application of the bike. Because I'll give you an example. Starting from a 250, I didn't ride that far even when I got my Harley, but I ride in the city, 30 minutes max, 45 minutes. It's fantastic for traffic, short hops. Then I started riding with you guys, which get on the highway, you start feeling, you know, you may need that 6th gear, go a little further, and you're just not comfortable. I mean, exactly what you were saying.
Yeah.
When you go, you know, 30, 40 minutes, but when you go long distance,
Yeah, for a quick ride, awesome.
I'll tell you what somebody told me.
what are the
Trigger.
keys?
This guy. He thinks the podcast is his. So I'll tell you what somebody told me when I was starting out. It's a buddy of mine. His name's Brad. He's one of the guys on the Arizona videos. He told me, get a smaller bike, not so you can learn how to ride a bike, but so that you can learn the style of riding you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get that bike, you get a Shadow 750, like in my case. And I learned that what I like to go fast. I like to cut in between cars. I already know a soft tail is not going to be the thing for me. You know, you can fall in love with motorcycles by watching a sport biker channel, by watching Blockhead or Shake Resurgent or any one of these motor vloggers,
Nice plug.
or myself. Hello. And you may figure out that while you like that style of bike to look at, that's not the style of bike you like to ride.
Exactly.
Yes.
So get a smaller bike. I think that's a great tip, so that you can learn yourself on a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the
Absolutely.
maneuverability. You get all those the most basic things that you need to learn riding a bike from a smaller one, because you can really maneuver it.
Sure.
You can throw it and be able to handle it. You're not gonna do that on a road glide as your first bike.
Right. Oh, not even
It's
close.
just too much.
Yeah, I've never met anybody who got a road glide as their first.
Maybe like a bigger guy.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
somebody
maybe.
like that it might be too small, but how was the change from sport to a cruiser, pretty much?
I mean, even when I first got my street bob, it was comfortable, but it wasn't the most comfortable. I made it comfortable to what I wanted. You know, I changed my seat. I got a crash bar. I got things that just made the ride comfortable to me. Suspension work, that's super important. That changes the ride completely. And I got it to the point where I can go I'll ride for 5 hours
And you're comfortable.
and I'm comfortable. You want to get off and stretch your legs and
Sure,
whatnot,
so
but you
good.
can go. You can go
Yeah.
the distance.
Here, don't let him down, please. So that
Especially with your chick.
Right. So you definitely have it configured
Yeah.
If you want to tour a little bit,
my kind of
for
riding.
your kind of.
Yeah, and that's what everybody ends up doing. You got to make your bike your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know. and everybody's going to want to do that. What about, okay, let me throw this one out. Let's go around. One tip that people are going to learn in the MSF course that you still think about and it still applies today. That's probably the most
A
important
tip
thing.
that I learned at the course.
Yeah.
Usually look where you want to go.
That was going to be mine. That was going to be mine.
I knew he was going to take it
That
from
was
me.
the biggest
Oh,
one.
God.
Yeah, what that means is when you're turning, you don't do it on a bike because that's the best point of reference for somebody that's never ridden. You kind of either look straight or you look down at your wheel, you look down at the floor. With a motorcycle, look directly at where you want your front tire to end up after the turn is up. So if you're turning, instead of looking with the turn, you want to look that way.
Head and
turn.
eyes.
Head and eyes. Not just with your eyes, head too. Because where you tend to look at, that's where your bike's going to tend to go.
Target fixation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you panic, you look at it and you go straight at it. It's crazy.
You're very quiet over there. I didn't mean to shut you off.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. I just,
He's nervous.
I've had a different experience because
Okay, what's yours?
my first bike was a Gixxer 1000. That was my first ever bike, a Gixxer 1000. But I was 24. Obviously being so young, you think different than what you think now at
Right.
35, 37. So that bike I had it 13, 14 years ago. And when I moved here, the bike bug bit me again. So I went to the Harley dealership because I knew I loved sports bikes, but that wasn't what I really wanted. Because, although I got the Roadster, which is the sportiest Sportster.
Yes, the fast
Yeah.
Sportster.
The sportiest Sportster, and I put the clip-on bars as well, so it gave me that feeling of sports bike. But yet again, a year after having the bike, I was like, I need to upgrade to something bigger because I'm a tall guy and the bike is pretty small. And being, on this position for 20 minutes or so, I mean, my back was killing me. So that was the main reason I had to upgrade to the Softail now. And on that topic that you're talking right now, the same thing. Just another thing I wanted to add is distance. Make sure to have some distance between some of the riders and the cars as well. Because you're on two wheels, it's a very fine line between falling or staying on those two wheels.
Yeah, something I learned quickly about group riding, because I started riding with a group very, very quickly. Group riding, first off, is not for everyone. Second, it's a whole nother animal than riding by yourself. Like completely different. Especially, this applies more to cruiser riders who tend to stay in formation. Not so much sport bike riders. You guys, nothing wrong with it. That's just how you ride. You do different things. You kind of go off on your own way, but you kind of stay in like the same bubble. But with cruisers, don't feel like when you jump into a group, don't feel like you have to go in and show off and try to do your own thing because you saw it in a movie or you saw it in another video or you saw some riders riding that way. Ride your ride, but don't be the guy that disturbs the group. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
If you want to do your own thing, just break off and do your thing, and either they'll catch up or you go to your destination.
By the way, Justin's up in the chat. He's watching. What's up, bud?
Hey.
Yeah. He was here last week. I'll remember. Maybe. I don't know if y'all watched. We don't really even have an audience yet for this. This is a nascent podcast. And we'll see how it ends up. All right. What about you? What you got?
I mean, besides this guy getting me on the spot, it was my one trick. I mean, okay, this is the eternal battle. All the gear, all the time.
All the gear, all the time.
That is what we're taught.
That is what you're
And
taught.
of course, the first month, you're a good old Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Fight it up to your ass, but I mean, you get more comfortable.
Sure.
We ride in Miami.
You get less nervous.
You get less neighbors. So one tends to, today I'm not going to take my riding jacket with my armor. I mean, that's pretty much a personal opinion.
Or I feel
Absolutely.
sexy, I don't want to wear my helmet.
Yeah, I got a fresh cut.
Thank you for that. Leave anything at home except for your helmet. Again, that is a personal opinion. I ride with not many people, but some
I'm probably the worst in this room. Doing that.
Yes, some
No
people.
gear.
No gear, no.
The one
Sometimes
thing-
he doesn't feel like putting the helmet on.
I feel safer
But
with
you're
the
like
gear.
50-50.
With the gear?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
100%.
of course, I do too.
And I never ride without it.
Yeah. I mean, I usually, even if I don't have my helmet, if I'm not wearing my helmet, I always tend to bring my helmet. Unless I bring this guy. This guy.
That's even worse.
Yeah, that's something
You
else.
have to have the helmet on the CC or not. Put it on, man.
This is my dog.
Yeah, that is your dog.
It's
yes.
tough in Miami with the heat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it turns you off, especially to a full face helmet.
You gotta,
And if you got a beard, you cook inside that
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
man.
That thing is
So
you're definitely bacon in there.
yeah.
But you know what? Let me be honest.
In August, you question whether you need it or not for a
Yeah.
second.
yeah.
But I mean, these past almost 2 years, I never really had, and we actually had the same model of helmet,
Sure.
and I've never felt like,
Oh, I have in the
Jesus
summer.
Christ.
I have many times in the summer.
Maybe
Many
it's the beard
times in
then.
the summer.
The reason that is,
It's
by the
just
way,
so
is because they
hot.
had a Voss helmet. Voss helmets are very well ventilated. Go to VossHelmetsUSA.com. Use
Link in the
promo code.
description below.
Use promo code 305 Rider.
There you go.
All one word.
I mean, I love my belts. Just when it's peak humidity here, it's tough.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Especially a jacket too. It's
Now,
tough, man.
I just mentioned to
You
you,
dehydrate so
I
quickly.
just mentioned to you a couple of minutes ago that my next helmet is going to be a modular one. And this is because it will be nice that maybe at stoplights, or whatever, be able to open it like,
By the way, Voss has some great modular helmets.
do they?
Yes, they do.
Really?
Visit VossHelmets.com.
Check
Use promo code.
them out.
305 Rider, all one word.
Next giveaway.
We'll see. I gotta line up the next giveaway. It's not out yet.
No, but for real. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really it is a personal choice. You said it. As somebody who tends to not always ride with his gear, except I will say the one piece of gear I always wear is my gloves. You'll never catch me riding without my gloves
What is that?
Yeah.
because the most
You don't have to tell it to me because I
No,
do as well,
no.
but why?
because the most common thing that's going to happen to you is that it's not that, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, of course it happens, is that you get into a bad wreck and you need your helmet. But the worst thing, the most common thing that's going to happen to you is that you drop your bike or you fall off your bike at a very slow speed. The majority of self-inflicted accidents happen at very low speeds. That being the case,
You're a live example of it.
you're a perfect example of it. The first thing that hits the ground when you fall off your bike,
It's your
Yeah.
hands.
Because you always tend to try to stop yourself.
you always tend to, and I just got used to it. For me, it feels uncomfortable now to
Without.
handle my levers and everything without my gloves. It feels weird. I've done it once to like go to the store, or whatever, and it just felt wrong. I was
Yeah,
like,
it does.
always
Feels
looking for my
weird.
gloves. Yeah. What about you? Give me one good
Hey,
tip. It can be
MSF
anything.
course.
It can be anything.
I'm just always really aware of my surroundings.
Hmm.
You know,
Sure.
you're always looking to see who might come out. Who I don't trust no
Absolutely.
cars.
Yeah. No.
I don't trust
No.
any car. And what I kind of have figured out to look at, don't look at the person because they'll look at you and pull out.
Yeah,
I'm
they will.
like, oh, I see a bike, but I'm gonna go anyways.
They're looking, they come right at you.
What part of the car do you look at?
I look at the wheels
I look at the wheels too. I
because
look
if
at
you
the
see
rim.
that wheel start moving,
That's
you better hit the brake because I won't trust them to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that wheel is moving, just let them go. You're never gonna win against the car.
Especially
Never.
in bad traffic cities, Miami, Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York,
Ah, you've been
Chicago.
around.
All these real like big cities where traffic is very bad. Look at the wheel of the car, not the person.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
always assume they're not seeing you.
And always assume they're not seeing you, and always assume, don't wait for the blinker. They're blinking.
Oh, what's that?
Assume they're not going to use it,
Blink what?
Miami, they're on the phone, yeah.
especially in Miami.
No, you know what I've seen that is kind of like one of the worst ones. You're going on an off ramp, guy is 2 lanes over and says, "Oh, I need to get off right now."
Yeah.
You cross.
Yep.
The
You know,
drastic
that's
view, yes.
the worst.
Oh.
That's the
Yeah.
worst.
That's actually
one.
what kind of happened to Manny. I don't know if he's watching, right? That's how he
I don't know
had
if he's watching.
his accident.
Yeah, we talked about it
You
last
see
week.
it on the highway, freaks
Yeah,
you
that's
out,
what he
you
was
know,
talking
you're-
about. It was like that, but with the express lane. You're right. Yeah, that was kind of how Manny's accident happened. What about you?
Another tip, riding tip. Trust your instincts. Don't. I mean, know your machine. It's very important to know
Yes.
your machine. I remember a couple months ago, for the first time ever, I rode JC's bike, and it felt so much different.
Yeah.
And you have to know how your bike is going to react because, yet again, you're on two wheels. When you're on four wheels, it doesn't matter as much. But a simple brake on, for example, my newer bike, I know you felt different as well. Braking on my bike is different. It just grabs it just by touching it. Yours, you have to like really press it in order to stop. So if you're expecting like your bike to react like another bike, you're gonna fall. Pretty much. If you're not experienced rider, you're gonna fall.
That's pretty much a fight against muscle memory, right? Because we all have our muscle memory, especially in our hands.
Yeah, you're used to
How we
do it
press
all
our
the
clutch
time.
and our brake and our throttle. You're used to that, and yeah, you're not an inexperienced rider anymore, but you're inexperienced on that bike.
Exactly.
So you have to be just as vigilant the first time you jump on any bike.
Yeah, just get on, feel it out, feel the clutch, feel the brake.
Take it around the lot a couple times,
Yeah,
feel it, and
shoot
then
out.
go if you need to go with it. Yeah.
I just rode police electroglide a couple of weeks ago.
Electrolyte.
Electric light.
Say it again for everyone can understand you. Electrolyte.
And yeah, I mean, I had to edit the video before uploading to Instagram because when I went to pull out,
Yeah. Saw that, yeah.
I was wondering.
I didn't shut up for so. Yeah,
all the
man.
time.
I mean, different new clutch, different.
You stole it out.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
why
I didn't stall. They were like, woo. Of course, different animal.
Yeah,
Different
completely.
animal, man. And my brother saw the video, the original video. Oh, what happened there? I'm like, same as with a car. You know how to drive because in Colombia it's all stick. You take a new car, it might. Okay, because you
You got it,
need to get the feel to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, that's good.
How you guys feel about tire pressure? Tire pressure is another point. No, it's important.
It is important.
Mhm.
Tire pressure because
Of course.
tire pressure gives you more lean. It gives you better mileage per gallon if you're interested into that, but actually it gives you better lean. So if your tires are low, you're not going to get as much lean as you want to, and your bike is going to react different. I remember when I had my rear tire had a nail, and I rode it like for a mile, and I felt the bike like something's wrong here, so I had to stop. There's a nail, low pressure.
But
So-
it wasn't obvious. At least your situation.
No,
You
it
had to
wasn't.
Stop and
Right.
okay.
And I always walk around the bike before hopping in and riding.
Actually, I would say tire maintenance overall is one of the most important things in bike maintenance, because if you don't change your oil, yeah, it's going to be very, very bad for your bike. But it's going to be very gradual. Your chain, unless it's really bad and it snaps off, you can get away with it. Tire maintenance, if you don't maintain your tires properly, a blowout is going to hit you like that on the
yeah.
highway, and you are done.
You're done.
Yeah, that's like the last thing you want.
Yeah, it's not like getting a blowout on a car where you blows out. You're like, oh man,
One
you
of
blow out.
4.
Yeah, it's 1 of 4. This is half of your tires. If one goes out, that's half.
That's one thing you definitely should don't skip on a cheap tire. That's the one thing that's
Yeah,
holding
yes,
you
sir.
to the ground. You know,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't skip on a
very
cheap tire.
important. Very important.
Cheap oil, you can get away with. Cheap parts, you can get away with them.
Okay,
Cheap
here's a-
tires, no.
Here's a tip for you, and I know maybe I guess all of us have done. When you get your new bike or used bike, you want to change the seat and he did this whatever. One of the best and first things you should do is change the stock lights to LEDs
Why?
because of the visibility
Hey, you have me that?
of the visibility it gives
It's
you.
your mom. Take it in the room.
Yeah, having people see you better.
Yeah, safety first.
Both ways, you see better at night.
Mhm.
Hang on, sorry.
Cars
Hold
see you.
that point. Go ahead, honey. Little technical break here. Right quick. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
And unless you want to pay for the brand, the best ones out there, you can easily go on eBay or Amazon and you can switch your lights under $50.
Yeah.
I did it myself.
Mhm.
I did it myself.
Yeah.
I didn't go for the best ones out there because since day one I knew this is my beginners to learners bike.
Mhm.
I will trade it. Well, that
I
was
put
that was 2 years
I
ago.
not too much into it.
I'm gonna do things to it, but I don't wanna put like. I mean, it was a
Let-
cheap bike. but-
Let me get back to that in a second. I want to read a comment we have from our friend Diego.
Hey,
Hey, Diego.
the Peruvian
Cheers to
guy.
you, the
Cheers,
Peruvian
brother.
guy. All right, it says, and this is very true about the tires. You only have about I'm going to say 2 square inches of contact with the ground. You want those 2 inches to be performing at their best at all times.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Absolutely true. All right, sorry. Let's go back to your LED point.
So yeah, let's say you have front, back, and turn signals. I would say with $100 you can switch all the let's say $100 or so you can
$50
switch
above, yeah.
because the turn signals are very cheap.
Yes.
Mine already had the back done, but the front I think it was maybe 40 or something bucks.
For both? Or
Not for
per?
the front.
Per,
Yeah, like the
per
set.
front, left and right, or for both?
No, I'm talking about the big one, the headlight.
Oh, the headlight.
Oh, the
Oh, the
headlight.
Headlight.
Big
There are
difference.
better ones out there that they make it blah blah blah.
I will say though, hang on, because you got to be careful what you buy. Because I have had an experience when I first changed out the headlight on my Fat Boy.
Mm.
I bought around it was a $75 one from Amazon. It fit perfectly, installed easy, fine. 2 weeks later, it goes out, done.
That is true.
Be careful what
That
you
is
buy
true.
out there. I will say that.
That is true.
If it's got enough reviews and you feel like
Oh,
taking
yes,
a
of
chance,
course.
go ahead and buy it. But
As with all online shopping,
I didn't have trouble with the one that I had for the roaster. I got
The
it on
headlight?
Amazon. Yeah, the headlight. It was like $42. Made in China, of course, but it did it. It
you
did.
didn't have a problem. Or did
You did or didn't?
Never,
Oh.
never did.
After you say
Luckily,
you had-
luckily, never did.
Mine, you actually helped me install it.
Yeah.
Perfect so far. Never not a single problem. I was also lucky with the turn signals. I didn't read the
I remember that. I was there.
I bought the wrong turn signals, so I had to buy them again for my bike. And the original ones I sold, I gave away to a friend. I gave away to a friend, actually Diego, and they died like a couple of months later.
Wow.
So yes, of course you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, and you
But
can get
they
away
were-
with it.
They were like $20, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can. What I always say is, do you feel like taking the chance? Because a lot of the times, yeah, you'll buy something for $20, it'll work forever. My tail lights on my bike, I got it for like $50. They've been working.
Some people just have that luck.
Yeah, I mean,
True.
sometimes
You get
a
it brand
good
new
bike.
and
It works for one
Yeah.
person great. and
Or
the
you
next
can
one-
go to
luck of the draw sometimes. Sure.
if you want to be absolutely sure that what you're getting is the right thing, you go to your dealership, whether it's Honda, Harley, Yamaha, whatever, and you buy the stuff they have in stock. You know that's going to work. You know they're going to replace it. It's that simple. You're going to pay more,
Yep.
but you have that peace of mind.
Absolutely.
What about maintenance or mods? I got a good one for painting a bike.
You're paying.
Yeah, and hi.
You go.
And I've actually done this quite a bit. I'm sure if you've seen my channel or if you guys have noticed, my exhaust is black matte painted, my gas tank, my front fender, all those 3 things had to be repainted. I did those paint jobs myself. I did them.
Really?
I did them with about $14 worth of engine enamel
Nice.
purchased at a Home Depot.
Like the high temp.
High tech. It's literally. It says on the can, engine enamel. Works like a charm.
And looks fine.
Yeah, it looks.
It looks like stock paint.
great.
Yeah.
I thought your bike was stock like that, bro.
It was black matte, but after all the crashes,
Oh, okay.
Ah.
I was gonna say I thought I always see
Yeah.
black, but yeah.
it's always been black.
Yeah.
But it's been scratched. It's been scraped. Especially the exhaust.
That's
I
what
actually
it is.
sanded it all down and repainted the whole thing.
Well, that's what makes it look good.
Yeah,
That
you-
prep.
yeah.
If you
Yeah,
prep
if you're
it
gonna-
good,
If you're gonna paint with spray, especially with spray paint, prep that stuff.
Prep is everything.
Yeah.
My seat is. Well, that's another topic.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I actually want to tell you, share with the world what you did to your seat. But before we go there, so I don't know if you remember, one of those times I went to your mom's place to work on the bike.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the name. Something broke on my bike. where the foot peg
Yes, I
comes to
remember.
the bike,
Yeah.
that whole thing broke. So after a lot of research, that's another tip: do your research before buying.
Before
I-
buying parts or buying a bike, buying anything.
I ended up buying a brush aluminum part, and I needed it to be black. So I was already asking for, hey, do you have a guy who paints? Do you know anybody?
That right there is the perfect application for engine and ammo, right there.
And that's not what I use, but I actually did a little more research. It's as easy as buying spray primer,
Mm-hmm.
spraying primer, and a matte black spray paint.
Yeah.
I did it myself in my balcony, prep. I put the plastic roll, taped everything, did it myself in under 1 hour.
And that's a great way to save money, save time.
There are things you can do. Others you can't. You need
Yeah.
to go to a professional, but YouTube, man.
Yeah.
YouTube college.
YouTube University is what they call it, right?
University.
I'm trying to add to the curriculum.
There you go.
And it's a nice feeling too when you do little things that you do on
Oh,
your own.
yeah,
right?
of
You feel,
course.
you know,
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that
absolutely.
accomplishment.
yeah, you know, even just
I
a
did
turn
that.
signal, you're like,
Yeah.
I did it, you know,
I
turned
just
the
saved
wrench a
myself
few
80
times.
bucks.
Absolutely, the labor, yeah, you know, so if you could do something yourself, it's just
One of the
That's
most
when your
sa-
bike becomes yours.
One of the most
Yeah,
satisfying
it's-
mods I ever did was one of the first ones I ever did too. On my Shadow was when I changed my own grips.
The grips.
The grips. That to
That
me
was,
that was
an accomplishment.
that was one of the big coolest accomplishments I did. I don't know, maybe it's because I got to grab it and feel it every time I rode the bike. But it felt really good. I researched the entire I didn't know anything about bikes at that point.
Wow.
And yeah, I want to mention one piece of maintenance that is very important. It's not your tires, but it's very important that we don't think about too much because we ride Harleys, and Harleys are belt driven. It's chain maintenance.
Ozzy had a situation about a week ago. His belt broke.
The
Ozzy,
belt,
yeah.
that's the first
Yeah,
time I've heard of a belt break.
Ozzy, right? Ozzy, the Sportster 72. Yeah, his belt
Yeah.
broke right in the middle. He doesn't own a car. That's his main transportation. Right in the middle of the road, his bike broke. It was the belt.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
interesting.
it can happen too. But yeah, you have a point. Chain driven bikes is very important to be
Absolutely.
very lubed. And
Yeah, there's way more maintenance in
Right.
the chain.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Not especially if you're gonna be a sport bike rider, they're all chain driven,
Mhm.
all of them. Make sure you get your chain maintenance done, chain lubrication, chain cleaning,
Tension.
tension's one that
Very
gets overlooked a
it's
lot.
very
Yeah.
important.
You don't want that thing breaking off and hitting your head.
If you're riding and that
you're
thing
gonna have a bad
snaps
day.
off.
Yeah, bad day,
That's
real
a
bad
bad
day.
one.
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
That's bad.
And
You can
actually,
even lose your leg.
actually,
That's very close to guaranteed, yeah, man.
yeah. A good tip: if you need to replace one single link, you don't have to replace the whole chain.
Right.
You can break off just a link, and you can do it yourself. Look up Fort 9, hardest freaking dude in motorcycle YouTube channels. Fort 9 maintenance tips. He's got a way to change your own link on chain. Worth it.
Cool.
What? Oh, okay. We have a comment from. You know what? I'm not gonna read this comment. You're cool, but I'm not gonna read it. It's just getting a little too familiar here. All right, what else? Give me another one.
In maintenance,
Maintenance, writing, mods, purchasing.
I mean, I do a lot of research before
Yeah.
I pull the trigger on something.
Save you money, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like to buy things once.
I am gonna answer the question. Yes, the dog does ride too. Yes, he rides on the bike. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, research. I would say it's. God, I went through probably 3 months of pure research of
What for?
what bike I'm gonna get, what it is, what they do, what the
Okay.
first things to do when you first get your bike. Actually, before even the MSF course, I was already doing research, and I didn't get my bike till about 3 months after. So yeah, it was a long road. And actually, once you get ready to buy that first bike, usually most people, I know I didn't go buy a brand new bike from the dealership. I bought a used bike from a used dealer, from a very reputable dealership.
We're talking about Spidey?
I'm talking about Spidey, yeah.
Oh, you got a dealership?
I did, a used bike dealership. Fantastic guy, Central Moto 79.
Oh, that's where you got it, huh?
Central Moto.
Okay.
But I did a lot of research on that bike, like a lot.
And sometimes actually you might think you want something so bad, but when you actually get it, you're like, yeah, it's a learning process.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you have somebody that has something maybe that you like, try it out, feel it out, and then be like, I really want that.
And you know what? For buying, especially a first bike, don't discount things like Craigslist. I know there's a lot of shady stuff that happens out there, but
Correctly,
I was
man.
gonna say that's where I got my sport
where
bike.
you
I
go.
got it from.
don't discount places like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp. Those places,
Yes, sir.
people put quality stuff.
Yeah.
There are gems. There are gems there.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
you can
100%.
But do your research. Don't buy the
Very
first
good.
bike
Even
you see.
if you get a little fixer upper, you know, like I got the sport bike, it needed a tire, it needed pads. I did just that regular maintenance stuff to make it safe for me to ride because I don't know the guy.
Of course.
You know, it definitely needed an oil change.
Sure.
And it was black.
What?
It needed the chain to be cleaned and greased and tensioned and the tire and you know I did all that stuff before I actually took it out for a ride just for
That's
my
excellent.
own peace of
Yeah.
mind
That's good.
because you never know.
But there was a learning process there even before riding.
Oh yeah, I mean I didn't even know,
That was to your benefit,
Yeah,
though.
I didn't know
that,
anything.
you know, okay.
Give me the dog.
That's pretty
but I
good.
felt safe when I did take it
There
out
you
because I
go.
was like, man, I know I got
At
good
least up
brakes.
here, and having that confidence up here is a
Exactly.
game changer.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
You
Confidence of mind is everything. when you're riding a
100%.
motorcycle. I would also say another tip. Sometimes when you're in a car and you're 10, 20 minutes away from home, but you're tired, you push through it. But on a bike, that's a whole nother thing. What do you guys think about that? Riding tired.
No, don't. I
Riding
mean, yeah.
tired.
If you don't have to, don't. There's really no reason for it. You shouldn't put yourself in that. Try not to put yourself in that situation. We're only human. We do,
Sure.
but avoid it at all costs. There's no reason to be out there, riding without enough sleep. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, riding is here's one good tip.
You leave
Riding
your bike with at a friend's house, take an Uber home, or stay over, whatever.
There you go. But
I'm good. I'm
yeah, let me get this one
Okay,
out.
go.
And it's something that I haven't really heard verbalized a lot in the past 2 years. But riding is a much more physical activity than something like driving is.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
Your entire body is engaged at the
That's
same
for
time.
sure.
All four extremities have to work
And your-
together.
And your
Five
mind,
senses.
And your mind, yeah, of
I mean,
course.
your mind.
And your mind, your eyes, everything.
Your senses are all
Yep.
like heightened.
100%.
I would get tired from the sport bike and not physically, but mentally because I'm watching.
exhausted, right?
Man, I get home, I'm tired. And it's not like that I've been working out. It's just that my mind has been running at 100%, watching everything. You're scanning the road constantly. I mean, I'm still doing it. You still do it, but I don't feel it as much now.
That high level of alertness that
Yeah.
you just don't have it in a vehicle.
Yeah,
In a car,
you don't get it.
you're never that alert.
Yeah, you zoned out,
Yeah.
radio. Nowadays, you're watching YouTube, whatever. What about, sorry, you were going to say?
Okay, so I was hearing you speak. I remember something my dear friend here shared with me a long time ago. He told me one of the good things about having motorcycle insurance is that you have rights to ask for tow trucks.
Right.
And he mentioned to me once I was out and it started to rain hard.
Bro, it wasn't raining.
What
it
did
was
I do?
like
He told
pouring.
me.
That was you?
He told me I used the service I pay for. I decided instead of risking my life, I need a tow truck.
Yeah.
To take me home.
They came.
Yeah, they picked you up there.
Yeah, they picked me up and took me home.
Wow.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, bro.
Neither did I, eh?
I wasn't, bro. It was pouring. Let me tell you, it was.
I mean,
it was
we all know
bad.
how it
It was
rains
like
here.
a hurricane.
Yeah,
I wasn't
when it
planning
really
to
rained.
get. It was too.
Yeah, it's got to be bad for
It
you to
was
make that
way
choice
too
because
risky.
we've all been
Yeah.
the rain here in Miami.
Even the tow truck guy even told me you did the right thing because you don't know. I don't ride bikes, but it's just too risky.
There's one thing about getting caught in the rain while you're out, but there's one thing about leaving your house in the
Yeah,
pouring rain.
yeah.
100%.
That's not a good decision.
No, it never is.
Good point.
One thing that you never think about buying, though, when you first get your first set of initial gear is rain gear.
Yeah.
It's rare that I've seen people wearing rain gear. I've always bought my set. I actually keep it down on my bike, always, just in case. I actually have never worn it because I would rather.
You have it on your bike?
It's in my bike.
What do you have on your bike?
It's a little parka and a.
Really?
Yeah.
Poncho.
I've never
Like
worn
a
it
top
yet.
and
Yeah, I've been caught in the rain, but I feel like sometimes. See, if you're gonna put on rain, because if you get caught in the rain, that's one thing. You're already wet. Why are you gonna put on the
Yeah.
rain gear?
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in that situation, but I do have it always. It's always there.
I got 2 sets of rain gear and I still get caught in the rain.
Yeah.
I don't take
Yeah.
it out. It's in the house. It's not doing me no good.
That's the thing about rain gear. It's important to have
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you have
your
the
rain
bag
gear, right?
space.
if you have the bag space.
Well, that's why I'm surprised. Where the hell do you have yours?
It's in my swim arm bag
Wow.
at the very bottom.
Nice.
I can pull that.
It's very, very compact.
You have like a poncho almost.
It's like
It's a
fold
jacket
it into
and
like
I have a little one that
Just
folds
roll
right
it
into
up
the
real
pocket.
quick and shove it in
Well,
there.
I mean, I bought one just now at Black Friday. Black Friday, and I put the pants on top of the jacket.
Oh, but it's not Harley
When I
Davidson.
roll it, it's like this.
No, it's a Hardy one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's a
When
little
you got it,
bigger.
yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, not mine.
What I'm going is I can carry that with me. I will on my future bagger. It's always going to be there.
Yeah, but okay, let's save the folks some money because you don't need that. Honestly, a little rain parka and rain pants will do the trick.
I mean, I think I've gotten soaked already so many times.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it depends,
have.
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, I'll keep like a little windbreaker and stuff like that, but you get soaked sometimes.
yeah,
There's just
of
no
course you
time.
do. Yeah.
And like what you mentioned, if you're on I-95 or the turnpike or whatever, and it's not like it's telling you, okay,
Hang on.
rain is coming. You get what?
Yeah, because we got to make an important distinction here. Because not everywhere in the country does it rain like it rains in Miami. In Miami, it could be the most beautiful day.
Oh yeah.
And in the term of 5 seconds, you'll see a storm cloud roll in.
Yeah.
Or it's pouring
Downpour.
rain. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, and 5 minutes after it's dry.
and
again.
5 minutes after, you're dry again. So we put up
You
with that.
drive through it.
We drive through it.
Literally.
Yeah.
There's 2 sides of Miami. Super hot, rains every day.
Mm-hmm.
It is either super hot or it is rain. Yeah, this is very true.
And once it gets cold, it's like super cold. Or like
I wouldn't say that. It doesn't get
You
super
get like
cold here.
4 days
Still
of
really
winter.
it's always
And It's
hot.
always hot and it rains a lot, yeah.
It never gets cold.
This year has been good to us.
This year has been a nice weather-wise. It's been-
Yeah.
It rained a lot. In the summer, it rained a lot. I mean, but that's
Oh, talking about the cold.
Oh, the cold, yeah, it's been
Yeah,
nice.
These past few little days,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, and it's
We're in
only- it's
December
only
already,
mid-December
almost
now.
January.
You guys are wearing long sleeves.
Yeah.
I came in a short.
Oh,
I mean, it's
You're gonna get it.
it's
You're
decent.
gonna get it now. We're at
It wasn't
at
too
the
bad.
60s now.
It's the wind
Oh,
chill.
I wear it. I go. It's gonna drop 15.
Well, people in the
miles.
north, but that's the thing. Most people, where it gets really, really cold, right now they're not riding anymore.
And it's
No.
yeah,
They can. I mean, the streets are. I mean, the road dries. So.
snow and all
Like
that. Yeah,
Colorado?
no, that's terrible.
Yeah, Colorado, there ain't nobody riding in Colorado.
Georgia.
But right now, these
Georgia,
few days,
maybe.
and even now, I
But
don't
places
even mind
like-
riding in this pool.
Not even cold.
Beautiful.
Because you never get
Ah,
to see it.
You're not.
Last year,
Yeah.
when we went there, it was
No,
snowing.
I get it.
We love
So hard.
We never get it.
I'll enjoy it for the little it is now.
Right. You're like, oh, it's cold, but you never get that. You never really have to, suffer through that. You know,
Yeah, not here in Miami.
not here. Like
Thankfully.
you kind of look forward to get that little nip,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Now,
That little bite.
prepare yourself, yo.
Yeah, they get home.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I did it. Yeah.
All right.
Go to St. Augustine.
Huh?
I'm going to St. Augustine. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about in general. If you know it's going to be cold,
What?
prepare yourself for the cold. Don't be riding right back from Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yes.
something temperature at
Yes,
80
the
miles per
Orlando
hour
storm.
in a fucking flannel. It doesn't work.
This guy, last year, we went to FLMM. And at the time, Miami was like a 65, cold-ish. So a nice flannel shirt, you're good. That's how this guy decided to go all the way to Orlando.
This guy and the other guy.
Orlando was 39 degrees.
Wow. Yeah, that's
But at the same time, a flannel shirt.
on a bike. That is.
They
That's
yeah,
cold.
at 80, I mean,
Lumberjacks.
take at least 15 off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're being nice there, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, 30s is a nice jacket time. Long sleeve leather jacket.
Oh, that's winter boots, winter gloves.
You
That's
won't
that's
see
the
me
When
on
whole.
my
you're
bike
riding,
at
yeah.
30s. You won't see me on my bike. Hell no.
And
Once
what?
you got the
No.
right gear,
At
it's the
30,
right
30
gear.
degrees,
Like
riding,
those hand
nah,
warmers, you
that's
see where
not
they
for me.
slide their hands into the
Oh,
warmers. up
yeah.
there?
Oh, dude, yeah.
The
That's
the coldest weather I've been riding, it's at 50.
50s.
50, 45,
that
30.
You know, 40, like, probably our coldest day of the winter could get to like 45 here, maybe like the coldest max.
Oh, that'll be 30 nights.
You're right, there are 30.
32,
At
You're
night,
right, you're
at
right.
night.
35s.
Right, right.
Yeah, but that's like once, maybe twice a
Yeah.
year.
Right,
You
right,
want to ride
you're
in
right.
30s?
No.
I will.
You just have to have the right gear.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have the right jacket. And,
I had the
layers.
the winter
Yeah.
jacket.
I mean, that's
and all,
one thing.
and
You
everything
guys,
was super cool.
most of you guys have seen me in the summer. Even in the summer, I ride with long sleeves. I own more long sleeve shirts than than most people.
Is that more for the sun or
Both.
Okay.
It's for both. Even if I got short sleeves, I got my sleeve.
Like Under Armour.
Yeah. Those
I'm-
arm sleeves.
They're
I'm a little
they're
like you.
lifesavers.
In
Yeah.
the summer, I would
Yeah,
wear a
they're good.
hoodie.
Yeah, she wears hoodies in the summer too.
I love hoodies.
Yeah.
Hoodies are my favorite shirt.
That's not a shirt. That's a sweater. Tight. It's a hoodie.
It's the only thing I wear.
Yeah, I like to have that arm protection. It's rare that you'll see me riding without anything.
Don't need a sunbird today.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And of course, do we need a show or something? Check her under hands and your arms.
You silly. All right, we got 10 minutes to go here. Why don't we just go around the room, final thoughts from everybody. Eliza, you're first.
Huh, why me?
Because we went
Ladies
this way to
first.
start, we're going this way to end.
What do I say?
I don't know. Last thoughts.
Trigger.
Like, yeah, triggers first.
He has said his part this podcast.
Keep your eyes on the road.
Keep your eyes on the road.
Good tip.
The best tip we've had all night.
There we go.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
Very
The
good.
glory.
Tony, go ahead. Go this way.
What's a good tip, and I think you guys touched on it before, is especially when riding, keep your distance from another bike. Like a vehicle, just space yourself, have enough time to brake, and if anything comes up, just watch your distance always.
On that, I like to ride. Everybody know what suicide riding is?
Yeah.
Without lights at night?
No.
I can get an.
That's
image
suicide,
and-
right?
No, that's literally when you ride with somebody side by side.
Oh,
Like
ah,
right on the same
okay,
line,
okay.
the same lane.
You have to know who you're riding with.
Exactly. That was going to be my point.
I wouldn't trust it.
I have very few people. You're one of them that I can ride like that.
When it's too windy.
Yeah, when it's not windy, because the fat boy, woo, that thing is fat. When it's not windy. But there's very, very few people I can ride with like that. So, especially, and even if it's group riding and you're staggered, know who you're riding around.
Mm-hmm.
To me, for example, I'm not as nervous about the person in front of me. I'm as more nervous about the person behind me.
Really?
I don't know why. Having somebody right behind me,
You can never know what you're doing.
yeah, you never know what they're about to do.
Or how they're going to react.
Not
Yeah,
paying
or how they're going to
attention or
react. But
something.
that's the thing. The guy in front, if something happens, you're in charge of your reaction. I'm
Exactly, yes.
I trust my reaction much more than theirs. If I have to brake hard, I don't know that they're going to do it.
Exactly.
I don't know that they're going to see it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing about group riding that I don't know. It's always in the back of my head. JC,
Okay, I actually forgot to mention this just now, but
he's on a new fad, by the way, about this prison shirt thing. And we don't really know what to make of it yet, but I'm sure we have been making a lot of fun of it.
that being said, this we applied. My friend Diego, who just commented a few minutes ago, we met at the riding course. So he was my first riding buddy before
Aww.
before I met any of these crazy guys right here. So we have, let's say we have the same level of experience, and without even saying it, we kind of knew to take our time.
Mhm.
What do I mean? You just get your endorsement. Don't go driving at night that same day. Don't get on 995 is ours, right? But don't get on the express or highways. Pace yourself until you are comfortable.
Mhm.
Maybe don't go on a 20-something bike group ride. Pace yourself little by little. Nobody has to tell you, you're ready. Come on, it's quicker. No, man.
Yeah.
You know yourself.
Exactly.
You're learning. So when you feel, we spent months without getting on the highway, without driving after 6 p.m. And little by little, now we have done all.
Same.
But I mean, know yourself and take yourself.
Trust yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself.
What you got here?
I would say ride your ride. If guys are tending to go fast, and that's not your thing, don't do it. If you want to ride aggressive or you want to ride calm, ride where you feel comfortable riding.
That I would say that's the number one.
And that's similar to yours, It took me a while to get on the expressway. Street, get on, get off, get on, get off. And then eventually I got to the point where, I rode my ride.
That I would say is probably the most important thing for people to take away is riding your own ride. Yeah, who is it? Sarang, get over here. Well, actually, if you want, you can walk over here. You can be on like this side here.
I got 5 minutes. Get in here, man.
What's up, boss?
Always fashionably late.
Let's hear it.
All right, so yeah, that's one of the most important tips out there for anybody is riding your own ride.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressure to go a certain speed because everybody else is going a certain speed.
Right. Yeah,
What you
same.
got?
I was just about to say that. Respect speed. If you're not experienced, respect speed at all times. Because honestly, I love speed, but the fastest I've been, it's nothing to brag about, but it's just my experience. 175 on the Gixxer, and
Nothing to brag about, but because our
but
bikes can all reach
just
175.
let me tell you that at that speed or over 100, 3 digits, you fall, you're gonna get it.
Oh, heck yeah.
So try to maintain a good speed because reaction time becomes way less.
The faster you
Yes,
go. Yeah.
respect it.
Tarang, we're doing final thoughts here, but I guess you can give your first and final thought. Give new or future riders your number one tip for riding. Mind you, he does not have a bike right now, so take everything he says with a huge grain of salt.
So bike right now, temporarily.
Bikeless right now.
Bikeless right now. And I think you should do more often. Where I always come in just for the final thoughts.
Yeah, you don't have a bike, so yeah, that works.
So going fast, right? I would say again, know your limits. We talked about this last time too. Know your limits.
Mhm.
If you tense up, automatically slow down because you're gonna screw yourself over if you keep yourself tense and going fast.
Mhm.
So slowly work your way. If you don't have to automatically hit the high numbers, work your way in like increments of 10. I would say.
Sure. That's Trigger's final tip. Mine. I'm actually gonna go back to what you said, Jeremy. It's ride your own ride. That's probably the most important tip you're ever gonna get, and it applies a lot. I've never been a pure sport biker, but I've ridden.
That's his final
Yeah, that-
and last spot.
So, but I have ridden with a lot of them, both on my Harley and my CBR.
He's still going.
And one thing that happens is I love watching guys do stunts on their bikes. It's great, it's fun, it's awesome. And I've been called a nerd for saying this before, but I don't feel safe when we're going down the road and there's 3 people on wheelies in front of me, one of them behind me, and the other guy's doing a roll and burnout. I ride my ride, and if I see that, I'm gonna fall back way behind because I don't feel safe during that. If we get to the lot, sure, and I park my bike and I watch them do their thing, awesome. But you gotta ride your own ride, and because a certain group is going a certain speed or doing a bunch of certain things, don't put yourself in an unsafe situation because you're trying to look cool. What is happening? But
he's a lover, not a fighter.
yeah, absolutely.
It's Trigger.
All right, guys, I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. Again, let's go around and give everybody your Instagram handle. They can follow everybody.
Tony DLR 376006.
Nice.
A lot of thought into that one.
And by the way, I am working with new software that I'm learning, so eventually I'll be able to have everybody's stuff come up as they're talking and cool things like that.
You can find me on Instagram as HD883Hogger.
I'm VG_Just397.
Crazy_Traveler 305 and YouTube channel Crazy Traveler 305.
Hey.
Mine T Patel 1000 on Instagram.
And I'm 305 Rider. Y'all subscribe to this channel if you're not already. Thank you very much for joining us. This was episode 3 of Bike and Beers.
Hey.
And Eliza, sorry, what's your? You don't have an Instagram?
Yeah, I do.
No.
I don't have.
Excuse me?
I don't. I don't have Instagram, but
What do you have? Excuse me.
on YouTube, you
got her
have.
own
So,
channel.
DM me on Instagram. I'll send you some videos of her that are on YouTube. Let's put it like that. Because it's my channel that she's on, another channel. Anyway,
Hey.
thank you all very much for being here. Subscribe. Please hit the like button. And subscribe and hit the bell and all that stuff. You've all seen Blockhead. Everything he says at the end, do all that with his channel.
Pink Trigger, do a little deer.
No. Thank you all very much. That's it.
Bye, guys.